เค thank you ก็ถามเขาว่าจะไปตรงนั้นยังไงเขาก็แนะนำว่าให้มาเส้นทางนี้นะโอ้สวยจริงกำลังจะไปขึ้นเรือแล้วเดินไปแบบไม่รู้อะไรเลย ไม่มีจุดหมายมีจุดหมายแต่ว่าไม่รู้ว่าไปยังไงเขาไปไงต่อน่าจะทางนี้แหละวะเอ้าไม่ใช่ดิมันเป็นตึกอะหลอนอีกแล้วThis
You want to go on 1045? Hold on. See the white sign? Down the stairs, right to the ticket booth. Hurry it up.
okay down the stairs
Right downstairs. To your left, you'll see it.
oh thank you ก็ไม่รู้ได้ขึ้นกี่โมงฟังไม่ออกเลย เขาพูดอะไรไม่รู้แต่ว่าลงไปข้างล่างแล้วไงต่ออ๋อโชว์ทิเก็ตแหละไปเลยแล้วกันalright จะได้ขึ้นเรือแล้วHello. Me?
Yeah.
I'm from Thailand.
Okay.
What time?
Right down this way right now.
Oh, thank you. ก็คือเขาบอกว่าไปเลยตอนนี้ต้องวิ่งแล้วแหละต้องวิ่งเร็วHello. How are you?
Machine. What are we doing?
Thank you.
Watch your step. Welcome work. What do you do?
Parthenon, as if it were stretched out to become a skyscraper. Now the silver reflective glass gives the building this illusion as if you can see right through the building. I especially love seeing this building on beautiful days like today when there's some playful clouds in the sky because it has such a stunning open light and airy quality to it. Next to them on the left is a blue glassy tower. Its neighbor is a throne-shaped stone-clad building. These two neighbors are also referencing each other. So check out the first balcony of the blue glassy tower. It's at the same height of the first setback of the stone-clad building next to it. Top of the stone-clad building, same height as that second balcony. So the stone-clad buildings from 1930 is the Luceno lacquer, and it was there first. So again, when the more modern neighbor comes to take the side of an older building, they often give that acknowledgement, that tip of the hat that you came before me. And as you can see, this is a sign of respect in our skyline. The architects in Chicago, they're not in competition with one another. They're really good colleagues, friends, and neighbors, and you can see that relationship reflected in the architecture. So I'm going to let you know about that context as we go along the way. Something you're also going to see a lot of is art, just under bridges here. So bridge raising season is upon us. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. So you're going to see a lot of barges parked along the river because fall is coming up. So we need to make sure that every single one of these bridges is fully operational, that they can open up and move. And as I said, we're going to talk about that engineering a little bit later on. On the right-hand side, supermassive Art Deco building. Here's Merchandise Mart by Graham Anderson Probst and White again. This was commissioned by Marshall Field and Company, the man who invented department stores. So here's a beautiful example of Art Deco. Now this style was the response to that Eurocentric style of architecture. So this is more modern and this is more American. With Art Deco, we're going to keep a stone-clad exterior. This one's clad in limestone, which is a locally sourced material here in Illinois. We have a recess with a window drawing your eye skyward. It loves that height and verticality. We have setbacks at the top, the staircase effect, geometry like both diamonds and chevron shapes. So very symmetrical, very geometric. Art Deco was very popular mid-20s to early 30s. So the roaring 20s, right? A very optimistic time in American history. People were making lots of money, industry was booming. So this style is about showing off that optimism with expensive materials outside and in, structures soaring up into the sky like visual progress. It's a very optimistic time, making lots of money, and in 1930 that stock market crash, the Great Depression happened. That 20-year gap of not much going on, and then in walks Mies van der Rohe with that stripped-down steel and glass look, which was very radical at the time. Here we are now, we're in the Y-shaped intersection on the river called Bull Point. This is where the main, north, and south branch of the Chicago River meet. In front of us, several blue skyscrapers is under construction here, so all of these guys are brand new. Really quickly, the construction here to the right is Wolf Point Tower South. It's going to be the tallest of the blue towers here, estimating 813 feet when completed. They just started putting on this glass so you can get some of the stylistic choice, especially that block of concrete, that counterweight. We're going to reference that later. It's very helpful. Across Blue Rays Bridge on the left-hand side are these triangle-shaped river cottages, and these are by Harry Weiss and Associates. Harry Weiss had served in the Navy, and he loved nautical themes. Lots of his buildings have triangle shapes meant to resemble sails on a boat. Round windows like portholes on a ship. They have their own marina as well. It's a very whimsical idea of contextualism. If you're going to build next to a river, why not make your building resemble a boat? It's pretty adorable. These are only 4 units and they're from 1989. Really quickly, you might smell some chocolatey smells. Now, there is a cocoa producer. You can't see them, but you can smell them in pockets around the city. So that's the Blommer's cocoa producers. Again, you can't see them, but you can smell them. So if you smell some chocolatey smells, that's exactly what it is. Now, at this time, I've been talking for a while, and we like to give our audience a moment to rest and digest. So I'm going to hop off the microphone, make a quick walk around, and see if anyone has any. See the captain's in this hydraulic pilot house, so he can lift it up to see over the load, and then when it goes under those low-hanging bridges, then he can lower it. While you're enjoying the barge, also grab your cameras. Here comes an amazing photo op down the main branch of the Chicago River, a literal canyon of skyscrapers. Point your camera off the port side to get that beautiful view, and I'm going to give you a very quick second to enjoy it. Next, we're heading down the South Branch. So keep your eyes open. There's a lot going on the river any time of day. Lots of wildlife, lots of activity, lots of construction. There's never a boring moment on the Chicago River. Up here comes our train, speaking of which. This is our elevated train system, the L as we nickname it. Here's the pink line heading towards the loop. You can see exactly why it's a double-decker bridge. On the right-hand side, we have this Y-shaped blue tower. This is 150 North Riverside, 51 stories by the Getch Partners. The narrow base, that's the elevator core. 25% of the building's footprint, supporting the rest of the 75% of the building. This is the most awarded skyscraper in the city of Chicago right now. You really don't need to know anything about engineering to look at this and go, well, that's pretty cool. So they're funneling the weight down through the trusses into the elevator core, and then caissons go 120 feet down into the earth, just touching that layer of metal. Now the other side of the Y is super reflective. You can see our boat. If you want to, you can wave it yourself. I always do. Hey me, how's it going? We're at the Y-shaped intersection of the river, so we've got a Y-shaped tower.
มาดูบรรยากาศข้างในกัน
Now today, if you build next to the river's edge, you are required to be set back 30 feet to allow people to walk through here and allow for green spaces. So the Getch Partners were just left with that narrow sliver of land to build on. They made it work. It was finished in 2017, and hands down, that's the most exciting thing I have ever seen being built on the Chicago River. I mean, buildings are cool, but construction, even better. And we'll talk about him again on the way back. So, as a heads up, we are going to be passing buildings twice on the tour. We're making 3 turns, which means we're going to pass everything twice. On the left-hand side, another brand new tower, also by the Getch Partners, is the Bank of America Tower, or 110 Fort Wagner. The Getch Partners again with that stunning engineering. Tree-like external braces, most of the skyscraper going on top those external braces, keeping that footprint very small, set back from the river 30 feet. Clad in blue glass, the new trend in architecture that disappears up into the sky. And I really appreciate this staggered effect they did with the tower. I think it makes it look really cool. Now this is the tallest office tower built in the last 25 years in the neighborhood of the Loop. So the Loop is this neighborhood to left, it's the business district, historically offices, all the Loop because the train goes around it. It'll be pretty self-explanatory. So here's some more of that bridge maintenance that I talked about. You can see some power washing and some welding going on right now. On the left-hand side, another super to you. But what they will do is they will lease you air above the trains for 99 years. They will allow you to put these support columns along the train tracks. You can build a platform, your skyscraper goes on top. Everything we saw on the right-hand side, starting with that really cool Y-shaped blue tower all the way down, everyone's built on air rates. Just like that, so you can see exactly what it looks like. On the right-hand side, very exciting, this white concrete building. This is Gateway Center 3. This is by Skidmore, Owings & Merrill, and it's typical architecture from the 1970s. Up until this point, we were still doing black box modernism, that stripped down steel and glass look. But that style is so redundant that in the 70s, they began to play with black box modernism. In the case of Gateway Center 3, they added fancy concrete. Ooh la la. We have somehow managed to make plain buildings look even plainer. So that's amazing. But the concrete Franklin structure, this is decoration, even though it doesn't look that way. And it's called the international style. It's a one-size-fits-all. The idea is take a building like this, put it anywhere in the world, and it fits in because it's a culture of different context. Let's fast forward to the 1980s and see what was going on. Right-hand side, green curving building. One of my absolute favorites is Gateway Center 4. This is by Skidmore, Owings & Merrill again, but here we are in the 1980s, where we're done with black box modernism. We'll keep the steel, we'll keep the glass, but we no longer want buildings that go anywhere. We want buildings for right here. So this is postmodernism, site-specific architecture. This is a beautiful example of it, actually. River, green tinted windows, green of the river. Look at the way the reflections play off the glass. The windows are bubbled out and pitched in to give it this wavy appearance like water. It's almost like the building is rising out of the Chicago River or made out of river itself. It's lovingly embracing its surroundings, so it's aging really well. Then the floors are repetitive and they go up really quickly. So I've been watching them prepping this land all season long, and I'm really excited because this little baby skyscraper is going to be a toddler soon and it's going to get up and walking. So once you know the tower crane is going up, you know that skyscraper is going to go up like that. Seriously, less than a year, even 6 months, we can build a skyscraper, no problem here in Chicago. On the left hand. Our catalog business within a department stores are royalty. On the left-hand side, we have this red brick building. It says Chicago School on the outside. That's the Helling Furnace building. It's from 1914. Here is an example of Chicago School of Architecture. That style has 3 parts. It's called a tripart design. Think of a Greek and Roman column. It's basically the same components of that very classic design.
ที่มันมีขอบ
So at the
สะ
base,
พานหรืออะไรอย่างเงี้ย
strong base at the bottom.
ก็จะใกล้แล้ว
We've
นะ
got in the middle a soaring shaft at the top, a decorative capital, base shaft capital, as I said, same components of a Greek and Roman column. This style was made famous by Louis Sullivan. If you're looking for Louis Sullivan, you're not going to find him on the river. I would direct you to the Target on State Street inside of the Loop for that
เดี๋ยวไป
beautiful
ถ่ายใหม่ตอน
ironwork,
กิน
the
อาหารนะ
prettiest
ว่า
Target you've ever seen.
ว่าแบบราคาจะเป็นยังไงบ้างในเมืองชิคาโก แต่ยังไม่รู้เลยว่าจะกินอะไร
On the left-hand side, we have another red brick building. This one with a clock tower. That's the Reed Murdoch Center. It's also from 1914. Those 2 buildings same age. This is by George T. Nivens, and this is Prairie School of Architecture. Prairie School is pretty self-explanatory, slow and flat, like a prairie. By the Midwest, it says cut on the horizon. Now this style of architecture was made famous by Frank Lloyd Wright. Where's he at? Well, he has one interior downtown. It's inside of a rookery. If you're looking for Frank Lloyd Wright, you should watch Oak Park. He has some more in High Park. So as I say, not everyone's along the river, not everyone is downtown. But definitely if you go to the Art Institute, you'll find some of their design work and some of their ironwork. Making our final spin, which we just did, and then we're going to head into dock in about 5 minutes or so. If you need to do anything like close a bar chat with Rob or use our public washroom, right now is absolutely the last time available to do so. As we're heading into dock, we do need everyone on the vessel to have a seat for the docking process. Not immediately, but in the next 5 minutes or so. So basically, something you need to get up and do, like throw away garbage, find your children, find your belongings, use the washroom, close the bar tab, now. So as we're heading into dock, I'm going to...
ร้อนเลยนะข้างล่าง
So we started back in
ชิลเลยอ่ะ
1890,
เต็ม
after
ถ้า
down the south.
น่าจะจบแล้วแหละ
Now we'll lower the point of the river by 25 feet, which allows gravity to pull the water backwards into that lower point of the man-made waterfall. This took us 10 years to dredge out a 28-mile canal. But upon its completion, where the river's Chicago Lake, now the lake through that lock system, flows into the Chicago River down the South Branch into that canal, which connected it to the Des Plaines River, to the Illinois River, to the Mississippi River, and to the Gulf of Mexico. So from this point, yes, we could get
ก็
to Mexico
เป็น
if we had
ทริปชิคาโกที่มาคนเดียวแบบเงา
So basically using that fresh fish water,
One more,
flush that seasonally, of course we no longer intend to milk fish. On the right hand side, you'll see this sculpture, actually a fountain, been turned off, close to everyone. So this is Centennial Fountain / sculpture, and it represents the fountain that flows through all of the river